What's going on, guys? It's James. We're back at Project Matty Daddy.
Matty Daddy Foundation Project.
Yeah, I think we can change the name now. We've been stalled out for 6 months almost.
I think a little more.
A little bit longer.
Yeah.
For 6 months, we've been sitting dead, and we just dropped $60,000 into our foundation. We paid $950,000 for this property. We were putting in $250,000 into the budget, which I thought was
Yeah, we thought it was reasonable.
more than reasonable.
Yeah.
And we were going to sell it for $1.7 million and try to be in and out of this deal in about 7 months. But now we've been waiting for 7 just to get the foundation fixed.
Yeah.
So we ran into some major problems. Once we started finishing out the basement, putting in drainage, we started to notice the house had no footings.
Yeah, essentially we ripped out the slab in the basement because we were going to level it out for the head height and went, this is a major problem.
Yeah, no footings, not good for your project, guys. Once the inspector came out, we had to go through a full design review. It's in a ECA area with liquefaction zone. That's why it took 6 months. But we are now through the foundation. We're going to walk you through this project so far. I mean, what did we do on this house 8 months ago before we got stalled out?
Well, 8 months ago, we were making good progress. We had siding done, we had soffits done, we had framing done, and we were getting ready for plumbing. Leveling out the basement, that's when we ran into trouble. And so we haven't done much more than that on the rest of the house. We've just been focusing on the foundation and that $60,000 bill.
Yeah, so it was ripping. Then we got stalled. Now we got to pick up the pace. So we are through our inspections. We're going to walk you through down there. But for now, we're going to take you through the upstairs, show you what we're doing. Then we're going to go into this money pit of a basement.
I got to go back down there?
You're going back in the hole. All right, so take a look at this, you guys. So this home was built in it's about 1919. It is a total of about 2,400 square feet. When we bought it, it was a 3-bed, 2-bath with the finished basement downstairs. Yeah. Just the drywall was coming up a really shitty foundation. The layout was awkward and it was weird when you came in.
Yeah, did you redraw this layout like 7 times?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to perfect the plan, and we had to move a lot of things around. So when you first came in, actually his living room was in the second. This is the stuff we didn't.
Yep.
But before, where that fridge is, the stairs were coming down.
Super tight stairs that they weren't functional.
Yeah, they weren't functional. Actually, I mean, the house was very livable feel.
Yeah, no, it was. Just the stairs were funky, a little tight, layout was a little off, small primer.
Yeah, and those are the hard things you want to look for when you're flipping a house. They're kind of, it almost had a Weekend Warrior special to it, where they had updated electrical throughout the house. We can see the wiring wasn't really, really old. So the homeowner over time had been fishing things through, and it wasn't in that bad a shape when you walked in. Honestly, it was pretty close to rent ready if you carpet, painted, cleaned it up.
Yeah.
But the layout was terrible, and so we started deconstructing the layout. We had a living room, we had dining, and then our kitchen was actually very, very narrow before. We had to move this wall over, and it was about halfway through that slider. So it was like this skinny galley kitchen, which wasn't going to work for $1.7 million. We moved the stairs from this location into this part of the house, and we reframed the 2-bed, 1-bath on the main floor into a 2-bed, 2-bath with a formal primary suite. By moving the stairs and moving the walls around, it allowed us to get a bigger kitchen, and we had the right floor plan upstairs.
Right.
You're looking confused. Or do we not have 2 beds, 2-bath upstairs? Mm-mm. What do you mean? Yes, we do.
What?
What? I know we've been in permits for a long time. Are we a 1-bed?
Or 1 bed. Remember we blew it out to make the massive primary, put the stairs over here?
That's how long this has been. I redrew the plan out that long. Now I don't know if I like that plan.
Well, it's still in fucking studs with no plumbing and no electrical, so.
Yeah. Well, good news is, guys, you see this live on camera. I'm gonna relook at the comps since we bought the house. Because the longer your deal goes, either 2 things happen: the market appreciates and it absorbs any kind of issues, or if it depreciates, you have to look at what your current plan is. Is that sellable, and is it not sellable? So in the market when we bought it, having the 1-bed big primary suite, it did work.
Yeah.
So we were able to get 3 beds and a bath downstairs.
Right.
A lot of room in that basement before the foundation gave out.
Correct.
That layout will work for this neighborhood. But because it's been so long, now I need to take a look at it, make sure the floor plan works, and make any adjustments now, because we don't want to make any more changes. We want to get this to the finish line. So upstairs, we've taken it all the way down to studs, stairs getting moved, kitchen got expanded, and then a lot of the living space is going into the basement, and we're going to go in, but we don't have the stairs in yet. So let's go around, and you can see our money pit of a basement.
Back to the dungeon.
All right, so off the backside of the property, the cool thing about this is we do have alley access, and so when we sell this property, we are going to put together feasibility that we've already done that we can get an ADU in the back. Now, we're not going to build it because the soil is on. I don't want to deal with more permits.
Yeah.
But what we have that enhances the sellability of the property.
Sure.
If someone knows they can increase the value, because they did it right here on the backside, people will typically pay us more, right? So right now we're in the hole with our budget. How do we make it to offset it? Well, we got to look at this deal a little bit differently and market it and plan it a little bit a different way. We might spend more, but as long as it rackets that price up, maybe gets us an extra 100,000, keeps our value up, it's all worth the time and effort.
Yeah.
So you got to pivot your plan as you run into roadblocks. So this house, guys, honestly should have been torn down.
You never say that.
This is one of them.
We should have torn this down.
This should have been torn down. This house was literally sitting on old bricks, and once we took the drywall off, you could stick your whole hand through it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even the scary part. We've dealt with that before.
Yeah.
It's when they pulled out the slab, it was literally cinder blocks just sitting on mud.
And bowing in, if you remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was bowing, it was twisted, it was broken.
Yeah.
And so it caused a lot of different issues. So take a quick peek, and Ryan's gonna talk about all the steps we had to do for the last 6. I feel like my kid graduated. Yeah, when we started this, my son was in elementary school. I was in middle school.
Why you gotta say it like that?
Yeah, Mike. This project's taking generations right now.
I don't like it any more than you do, Jimmy. You know how much time I spent in this basement?
So you guys, right now we're gonna take you through a full tour, but we're pouring concrete. We've had enough delays.
Yeah.
I don't want any more delays. So right now they are pouring the slab. All the walls are in. Ryan, what do we have to do here? We're in a liquefaction zone. What do we have to do to get this kept separate?
Yeah, so first of all, we had to go through the ECA, liquefaction, special inspections with the city of Seattle. Plus, we had to hire a special inspector to come out and test the soil. So that was number one. We had to get through all that to even get our permit before we could even start digging this out and pouring the footings, which they came back after the first pour and said, these aren't big enough. We want them 4 feet wide and much deeper. So we had to dig out the entire basement again, which the amount of dirt that came out of this house is really insane. We had bulldozers in here and we had skid steers in here hauling dirt out in the dump trucks for 3 days. So we finally got the footings in after all the rebar, all the epoxy, all the dig out, and we finally got to pour the walls after 3 more special inspections.
Yeah, what you guys we did here is the old foundation still here.
Yes.
We poured it on the inside of the walls. This did allow us to not have to jack the whole house up,
Right.
demo the foundation, pin piled in, and pour new foundations. So this did, even though this was 50, 60 grand, this could have been $100,000 HP wall.
Yeah, easy.
Or we might have just had to knock it down. Last time we had this issue, we did knock it down. So
Scary.
yeah, those stilts for 6 months. But there's a lot of work, so we're not going to interrupt right now. But in here, you guys, when we're done with this project, and we'll give you some updates. Now that the foundation's in, it gives us the good thing is we do have a little bit better head height, and we got a lot of room to work with. Where the stairs are going to come down. We're going to have 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, a laundry, stairs coming down in the back half. We still have a really big bonus area through here. So some other modifications that we're going to do is we're going to get this porch feeling a lot better,
Yep.
transitions out, and we're going to have a really good sellable floor plan.
Yeah, and the other thing, the good news about ripping all this out is we got the good head height, right? And these beams are going to get jammed up into the joist, so it's going to feel a lot bigger than it does right now, and you're going to have a really good flow.
Yeah, it's going to feel like new construction quality. So right now, to get us out of this hole, we're auditing a couple things to increase the value. We're going to check the floor plan, check the comps, check our current budget.
Yeah.
We're going to start running our feasibility so the next buyer can build a dado in the back to increase the value. And then we're going to look at the specs one more time to make sure that we can make this house really feel like new construction pricing. It's a new foundation. It's a new wiring. It is new plumbing. It's basically a new house. I mean, they might even change our effective year bill on this house.
I hope so. We need all the help we can get.
If you want more updates on James's fuck up, like and subscribe below. The real question is, are we going to lose money or make money or break even? It's all about how we pivot the plan from here. So like and subscribe. We'll give you updates. Let's see. I need to write a check. Or we might even, you know what? If I got some leftover money, I might even give it to Ryan for all he did.
That'd be nice. A bonus?